This episode is presented by the Visit Cedar City Bryan Head Tourism Bureau. Discover the art of adventure at Utah's gateway to the parks. Cedar City is within a few hours' drive from 6 different national parks and monuments, and only 30 minutes from fresh snow at Bryan Head Resort. Check out visitcedarcity.com to plan your next trip. This episode is sponsored by the Cedar City Business and Innovation Center, dedicated to supporting local businesses and entrepreneurs. It provides resources and services aimed at fostering business creation, growth, and retention. The center features the makerspace, where entrepreneurs and small businesses can have access to 3D printers, video production, and photography equipment, t-shirt printing, and more. Whether you're starting a new venture or looking to expand an existing one, the Cedar City Business and Innovation Center offers the tools and guidance to help you succeed. To learn more and get involved, visit innovationcenter.cc. Hello and welcome to another episode of Explore Local Podcast, presented by Visit Cedar City Bryan Head in partnership with Cedar City Iron County Economic Development. This is produced by Dallas Smith Media, and I'm your host, David Johnson, Economic Development Director for Cedar City and Iron County. All right, we have on the show today Tony Cocchia with Pizanos Pizza up at Bryan Head Resort, or Bryan Head Town. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on here. And just so you know, tangents are welcomed as we chat. That's what it was. That's what I was going to tell you beforehand. Tangents are welcome. We love any tangential stories that you have. Now, Tony, tell me about how long have you had Pizanos?
Okay, my wife and I, Melissa, have had it for 22 years. 22 years. Yes. We lived in Bryan Head for about 35 years, but in 2002, we had moved off the mountain because we've had our daughter. And we hadn't even had the restaurant yet. Oh, okay. We were working for the resort. Oh, gotcha. And everything's centered around Cedar for a child, so we moved off the mountain. And in the last 3 years, we've moved back up on the mountain. Oh, awesome. Kids all grown up? Yeah, 22 years old. As old as the restaurant. Huh. Gotcha. Interesting timing. Yes, if you can think about that. She was 11 months old the day we opened the door. Really? Yeah, on Melissa's back. Really? Yes. So it's been the same location all 22 years? Yes, sir. Okay. What made you go, let's start a pizza joint up here on the mountain? We were working for the resort, and we wanted to still stay in the ski industry. And it first started out as a bagel and coffee place. Oh, okay. And we were on the mountain working, ski patrolling, and we were at the top of Chair 5 one day, and a guy named Bob Schlunt, and only the old timers know Bob Schlunt. He'd come up to us and told us that the pizzeria was for sale. We looked at each other and we skied down and went in and inquired and just kind of fumbled it around for a little bit. And the winter had ended, and we were in our summer jobs. And we had toyed it around, and we thought that we would go for it and try to get out of the resort industry and still ski. Yeah. And this was the option. And at the time, I'd been working on hot shot fire crews. So I was gone. Oh, really? I was working outdoors year round. Yeah. And this was something to get me back indoors. Gotcha. Yes. Working on all those wildfires. Yes, sir. Wow. Hot shots, those guys are hardcore. Most days. Yeah, not every day. You chase shade too. That's probably true. Totally. So the 22 years, does that include the coffee shop that you had? No, we never opened a coffee shop. Oh, you were We came down. That was for sale, and by that was in March of April of 2002. And by October of 2003. By October of 2003, we had decided to do it. And so we left work in the resort and we gave it 100%. That's awesome. Yeah. And you both were
ski patrol, you said?
I actually had a partner, and he had moved away from the business. But at first, it was myself and my partner, Dan.
Oh, okay.
And Melissa, my wife.
Yeah.
And by then, we decided to go full boat on it. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. What kind of stuff did you do for the resort when you were working for the resort?
My wife and I both worked in the rental shop for a year or two, and then I'd moved outside to ski patrol.
Okay.
And that's where I met my wife, was at the resort. And most of my lifelong friends from Bryan Head.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Did you grow up in Cedar area?
No, I did
what
not.
Brought you here?
I'm an implant, but I've been here 35 years, more than I lived at my original place that I came from.
Where did you come from?
You're going to ask me that. Long Beach, California.
Oh, okay. Hey, we're not going to hold it against you. I tell people, there's some trepidation about Californians moving here, but I just tell people they're refugees, moving to the beauty of our land. And so many, I grew up in the military, so I lived in California for a while too. But I think so many people that move here want to preserve what's here because we love it here. Everything at Bryan Head, here at Cedar City, Parowan, Enix, some of these towns in Iron County, we just love the way of life here. And I'm a transplant here in the last year. Been in Utah for, 20 plus years myself. But yeah. What I love about Cedar City is it has all the beauty of the outdoors that you could want, but still enough amenities to be in civilization,
Yes.
And there's kind of a symbiotic relationship between Cedar City and Bryan Head. And you kind of talked a little bit about that, right?
Yes.
When you were working ski patrol, sorry, I'm going to digress back over. What was some of your favorite things about being ski patrol, working the resort?
Oh, the snow. That's what kept me here.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 90s and late 80s, we were getting 400 inches of snow every year, and that's rare at a ski resort.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now, but that was what kept us here, was the snow and the quality of snow and the amount of snow,
Yeah.
It's hard to get it at other regions of our country. You got Cascade snowfall up in northwest. You have the Sierra cement in California,
right?
And you have the Rockies. The divide snowpack.
Mm-hmm.
But Utah is that place that gets that phenomenal snow, whether it's in southern Utah or northern Utah.
Yeah. Well, Utah's tagline for years was "greatest snow on earth," right?
Still is.
And that's because we have a dry snow. So it's not wet that,
30% water is what they say.
Really?
Yeah. Where other snowpacks are 20 plus.
Yeah. Where it's heavy snow. One of my favorite things to do when I'm out skiing is when you hit some powder and it's up to your knees and you can't even see what's below, but that powder is just so thick and so light. You're just flowing through it. Right. It's like mini styrofoam or something. Yes. Anyways.
Well, I'm going to date myself. I showed up in Bryan Head when we had trees. Now we don't,
Gotcha.
And we never had any problem holding snow when we had trees or anything like that.
You're talking because of past wildfires and things like that?
And the beetle.
The beetle. That's right.
Beetle. Yeah. Those were all the trees were taken out in 99.
That's right.
2000.
Well, and you can kind of see some of the scarring, I guess.
Here we are 25 years later, and the areas that they removed all the trees, they're starting to come back. They're at 8 to 10 feet, and pretty soon they're going to start doubling and tripling as we get through the decades, So we'll get our wind protection back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously you're a skier. Have you ever really snowboarded much?
Oh, a few times. Yeah. Back in the 90s,
Yeah.
But not
when it
much.
started becoming the hip, cool thing.
Yeah. Now the trend has reversed. More people are skiing than they are boarding because the twin tip skis go farther, faster, higher.
Yeah. I started snowboarding. I can't remember if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but I started as a snowboarder, but my family would go to, Alta and some of these other places where you couldn't snowboard. And so I picked up skiing and I thought, wow, I love this.
The joke is skiing's for people that are smart enough to do it on too.
We should get some snowboarders on here.
Yeah.
It cracks me up well, they're actually cool. Those cool split boards,
Oh, for snowboarding?
Yeah.
That's for backcountry.
Yeah, for the backcountry stuff. Yes. I've always wanted to try that. That would just be so cool to try that.
There's some people that have those.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I'm totally digressing on the ski stuff, but I'm gonna stick with the kind of the Brian Head theme because you've been there for so long. So tell me, what are some of the cool things that you've seen as it's grown throughout the years?
Well, obviously condominiums and cabins, of course.
Sure, yeah.
The rebuild of 2 new lifts at the Brian Head Ski Resort of Chair 4 and Chair 2, and the re-addition of Chair 1. In the early 90s, Chair 1 was gone.
Oh, really?
Yes. So Chair 1 wasn't there for probably 30 plus years.
Just out of service?
No, they removed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
physically?
They never put it back in.
Oh.
So, and that was through previous ownership.
Oh, okay. How many lifts were there when you first got? 8. Okay, and there's still 8 right now.
And they have also added in another access lift that wasn't there prior to the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And from what I understand, and you may not know this, but or what the plans are, but there's some major expansion plans.
Yes, totally. Yes.
So do you know much about what some of those
30-year plan?
I know they want to hit like 1 million skier days right now.
Well,
right?
time will tell, won't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, but they're gonna.
When you have seasons like this, it's going to be hard to hit that number, though.
Yeah. Well, Utah's funny. We always go through like these, what I say are like 3 to 5 year cycles where we'll get some really major snow and then, okay. And then really major snow, it's kind of like we go through these weird cycles.
I'll give you facts.
Yeah.
We are in a 25-year drought cycle. Since 1999. We've had 4 normal winters since 1999.
Yeah, but we had one like 2 years ago that was really heavy.
That was a little above normal. Yeah. I think they reported 525.
Oh, yeah.
And 2018, 2011, 2005, those were our big winters. Everything else has been drought cycles.
Yeah. Well, my hope is that we can keep it going. I mean, even with all that said, from what I understand, Brian Head's doubled its skier days in just the last several years.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're at like 300,000 skier days.
I'm not sure what the number is. You're gonna have to.
We're gonna have to bring them on and quote
marketing.
them.
Marketing has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. But even with sort of that dynamic, the last, like you mentioned, 25 years, it's been able to grow because of the type of snow that we have, right?
Well, it started to grow during the pandemic. Saw outrageous numbers.
That's true. Everybody was trying to get back
because
outdoors.
Our state was the only one operating and everyone around us wasn't operating. Yeah. And that's when they found Brian Head, was during the pandemic. It seemed to gone back down to normal numbers now because everybody's operating and and people do go where the snow is.
Yeah. Well, I know we get a lot of people that come up from Vegas, from California.
You see a lot of Vegas in the summertime.
Oh, really? Mountain biking?
Well, hiking, they're getting out of the heat. From May till September is definitely a lot of Vegas. Wintertime, we're seeing the big group of people is from California, Arizona, Nevada. Yeah. And we're starting in Texas. We have big Texas spring break coming up, Yeah. And the ownership of the resort does have multiple ski resorts in that region. So their passes are good at all the resorts.
Right.
And on a year like this, where Brian Head is one of their few resorts that does have resort, they're all showing up here.
That's awesome.
With their season passes,
How as the international market, have you seen a difference in that since COVID and everything?
At times, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Gotcha.
Holidays. It seems like January is a big holiday break for the Europeans.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
Well, okay, I'm gonna step aside from like the technical of Brian Head.
Yes, sir.
I just you've been a lifelong skier. It sounds like. Tell me, I'm gonna pick your brain about just some great ski stories. I mean, like for example, I went skiing Labor Day. Was that? No, not Labor Day. What is it? Memorial Day in the spring? I always mix them up. And just recently we had that great snow on that Saturday, and then I went Saturday, and then I went again on, I think it's Memorial Day. I'm horrible at remembering the holidays.
Late May?
No, it was just recent.
President's Day weekend.
President's Day.
Come on, that's the wrong month.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm totally off. President's Day weekend, and I decided I was just going to hit the biggest jump just for the heck of it. Didn't even really warm up. So I hit it in front of all these young kids too, and I got some good air and I landed. And of course I leaned too far back as I landed and wham, hit my head.
Oh, yeah. Did you have a helmet?
Yeah, I did. Of course.
All right.
Yeah. It's the first time in my life where I'm like, I felt a little woozy from that one, but you rest up and then we just hit all the slopes hard again. But anyways,
was that in the terrain park?
I think so.
Well, here, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
Ever since they've been building terrain parks, anybody goes in them, whoever, what, where, when, why, no training, no nothing.
Yeah.
On any given Saturday, you can pick up numerous amount of people in the same exact spot.
Yeah.
Because they go flying off of it, land in there and crash all the time. Yeah. Backboard, helmets, nothing.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I wear a helmet is I know how I ski. I try to ski pretty hard. I love going between the trees and everything. And so I've hit that jump a few times before, just when I was a little more warmed up, but I hit it like an amateur.
Well, you got to find Meteor Rock on the mountain.
Meteor Rock.
Yeah, we find that.
Yeah, let's
hit that. That's an old school hit from a long time ago when we had trees.
Let's talk about Meteor Rock. I don't think I know that.
That's off of Chair 5, off of Straight Up. People know where it's at. Yeah.
Is it? I'm assuming because it looks like a meteor.
On normal winters, it gets buried. On drought winters, it's a pretty good, scary hit.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah. Well, okay. I asked you for stories, and then I started blabbing my own stories. You got any great ski stories? Anything? It doesn't have to be incriminating or anything.
No, not at all. No. I'll say this. In the last 35 years, I've been fortunate enough to ski just about every region, every mountain, Rockies, Cascades, Sierra, Northern Rockies. Mm-hmm. Some of my greatest powder days ever are always been in Bryan Head.
Really?
Yeah. Just got lucky, in the 90s and 80s, when we were getting a good snow cycles every year.
Yeah.
But, they're definitely few and farther now, but there's still more to come. That's for sure.
Yeah. One of the things I really like about Bryan Head is, there's great views in most mountains that you ski in, but Bryan Head, there's nothing else in the world even like it, because you're looking at high desert, red rock,
like what you 3 states from the peak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you can see, when the red rock is just dusted with that white snow, it's just, there's nothing that compares.
In the early 90s, when they had the big fire out in the Grand Canyon North Rim, we could go up there at night and you could see the glow at night from the North Rim of the Grand Canyon.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
What's the?
Wait! Did you guys see the planets that lined up over Friday night?
No, I missed that.
You could see 7 planets from if you were out of light restrictions.
Oh yeah, because they're dark sky.
Yeah,
right
totally. So we were able to see that in Bryan Head, and even on Saturday night, the crescent moon, you could still see 3 stars around the moon, and the other stars were lined up behind it.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff like that at night.
Yeah, that's amazing. So
when the Hale-Bopp comet was out in the 90s. And before we even had more residents and more buildings up there, there was no light ambient there. You could, if you were on a 3rd floor of a condo, you could just look at the Hale-Bopp comet right out your window.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
That's so awesome. Sorry, you got me thinking about the 90s because you've mentioned the 90s a few times.
Those were the heydays.
Which makes me want, this is a really off the cuff question, but what was your favorite music band? What'd you like to jam out to in the 90s?
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yes, that's one of my all-time favorites.
That's a rock and roll band.
Yeah, although you may chuckle at my long
I'm
time.
older than you.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, probably. I don't know. My favorite band, and I always try to squeeze this in if there's opportunity, was Weezer, especially their first 2 albums.
They came in late 90s.
Yeah, they came in more, the late 90s and stuff. But Weezer, Stone Temple Pilots. I wasn't expecting you to say that, but it totally fits. Those guys rocked. They kind of went off the deep end, like a lot of those. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he died.
Scott died.
Yeah. What was the band he started?
Revolver.
Velvet Revolver. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, you know it.
Totally. I'm older than you, man. Probably got you by 20 years.
Maybe. I'm in my 40s.
All right.
So,
copy.
yeah. Thank you for the compliment,
Totally.
though. Yeah. Throw out some other ones now that we're on this topic.
Oh, you mean bands?
Yeah, bands or artists.
Like Sublime.
I know, Sublime. There's another tragic loss on that one.
All the great bands' lead singers are gone.
I know. Yeah, it's very true. Except for Weezer. Rivers Cuomo's still good. Nerding out. No. You know, they were the nerd rock back in the day.
The greatest man alive is contribute to the Beach Boys.
Oh,
sounds.
Yeah.
If you knew that.
I love that. Well, they do an amazing ski video to the greatest man that ever lived. Yeah. It's a one, I forget who the skier is that they have in their video to the greatest man that ever lived. I
never saw it.
Oh, you've got to see it.
When I first showed up to Brian Head.
Yeah.
You got no Saturday Night Live. You had no MTV. All right. And then somewhere in the late 90s, that all changed.
Yeah. Well, now you've got Wi-Fi up there, right? Yeah. Well, let's talk about Pizanos.
All right,
and I'm sure I'll digress us more because I enjoy it. So, what's it like being a small business owner in a small town? We'll start with that.
How about a 22-year business owner in a seasonal town? Let's put that in there first. You know, we don't have the year-round business like they do down here in Cedar City. You know, it brings some interesting aspects to it all. You know.
So do you like stock up like a squirrel in the winter? Or?
No, you don't stock up because you get delivery twice a week.
No, I mean financially speaking.
Oh, you save all your money after the summer, you know. Yeah, you're saving everything you make in the summer to make it to winter.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to do that down here, you know.
Right.
You have in the wintertime is definitely weekends and holidays. That's for sure. But in the summertime, from right around June 15th to Labor Day weekend, it's 7 days a week, which is different, you know, and easier to manage, easier to work out. And I would take that type of business every day year round, the one that we get in the summer. Yeah. And over winter, any day.
Yeah.
It's easier.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm having the not very far flashbacks. Actually, President's Day weekend, we were up there filming with the Office of Tourism.
Yes,
Dallas, our producer here. I'd gone up in Pizanos to get some soda. It over foamed, went all over me. And this is, you don't remember maybe you remember our meeting. Anyways, I look over and I'm just like feeling like an idiot. And you look up and you're like, you need some paper towels?
You're not the first. You're not going to be the last.
And then I remember Dallas. Then I went and I sat down and I saw Dallas go over chatting with you. And he tells me, he's like that he had talked to you about coming on the podcast. Yeah. And he's like, you know, the guy that just spilled the soda all over himself. That's the guy that hosts the podcast. Totally. Right, Dallas? Legend.
No, it's been interesting. We've had so many ups and downs over 22 years. You know, we've had recessions, accessions, snowmageddon, drought, pandemic,
right? Yeah,
and a forest fire. We've made it all through that. Think about that over 22 years. You know?
Yeah. How has your restaurant changed from when you bought it? Like, what did it look like when you first got it?
It's pretty much the same format. We've recently redid our back kitchen, which nobody sees anyways.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why we did that one.
Yeah, well, you gotta spruce things up.
And you know, as far as the dining room goes, it's looked the way you saw it for the last 20 years. And
really,
we do give it a a national park theme and a sports theme, you know, because every neighborhood deserves their own little pizzeria, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
I made the mistake though of sitting at the table by the window that has to be open in the front.
Yes.
So that it can circulate the air back to your kitchen.
If you knew how hot it was.
Yeah. Well, I actually worked, all in high school. This is lame compared to Pizanos, but I worked for Domino's Pizza.
It's all right.
And then in college, I worked for,
they give you the basics to get a job.
Yeah, that's right. In college, it's in Provo, the main pizza joint, the Brick Oven.
Oh, I see.
The Brick Oven
I was
in
just
college.
in downtown Provo last week.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I worked the kitchen in both those places and stuff. So I joke that pizza is the universal food.
It is.
There's actually, if you Google it, just Google "man lives off pizza."
Yeah.
And this guy has been living off pizza for 25 years.
Yeah.
And most people, and you right? Yeah, yourself too.
4 or 5 slices every day for 22 years.
Well, and you would think, like, when I first heard this article, "man lives off pizza for 25 years," I thought this dude's going to be huge. And he's like a skinny guy. And it's because you can have any kind of pizza you want. You can have a healthy pizza. You can have a really meaty pizza. You can have a dessert pizza if you want, right? Yeah.
Yes, we tried dessert pizzas, but we just kept eating them. So we never put it on the menu.
When I worked for Domino's, we did these like twisty breadsticks. We would just take the pizza dough, make twisty breadsticks, put cinnamon sugar on them. It was the best.
How many items at restaurants get made in the back of the restaurant and finally end up on the menu?
Yeah.
How long were they making double-decker tacos in Taco Bell before they put them out on the menu?
Yeah. For whatever reason, I feel like this next thing coming to my mind, I've said previously, I think I did when I was meeting with another restaurant on the podcast, but when I worked at Brick Oven Pizza, one of the cooks' name was Bob. Oh, I did. I mentioned this on, I think, the podcast with the pub here locally. But we made a sandwich that we called the Bob Dita.
Okay.
And years later, you could still go in, and there were still a couple people that knew how to. It was just a behind the menu order and stuff, but
we have some of those, but we don't let it out.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally.
Otherwise, you're going to get all these special requests.
Oh yeah, totally.
So talk about your menu. I mean, I know it's pizza, but like, what are some of your favorite things?
Well, when we first opened up, it was a very, very small menu, just pizzas. We didn't even have an 18-inch pizza on the menu yet.
Oh, really?
And the only appetizer we did was wings, and we did no pasta, and we only did a meatball sandwich.
Oh yeah.
So that was when we first opened up. Very simple menu. Someone gave me the idea as we were going on that to increase your menu by through all the ingredients you already purchase and add that to the menu. So that way you're not adding more stuff to your to your order.
Just mix and match.
Yes.
There's a different.
So we started doing more appetizers, pastas, and specialty pies, calzones. Salads. So basically, we didn't increase our order. We just increased the volume of what we order, you know?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah, totally. So our menu is about as big as we're going to get it because it can be hard when you have a skeleton crew on, you know?
Right, yeah.
At times of the year.
So tell me, what are some of the cool specialty pizzas that you guys do?
Okay, so we do Chicago meat lover. That's all the Chicago meats. It's still a New York style pizza, but it's Chicago meats. Salami, capicola, sausage, and pepperoni. You know, we do the Los Angeles meat hater for everybody that comes from Los Angeles. It's the veggie pie, you know. And
is it called the Los Angeles meat hater? It's called the
Los Angeles meat hater, yes.
I'm going to tell my wife about that one.
You know, the vegans, you know, they'll get it with no cheese, so it's a real meat hater, you know.
Yeah, that's
stuff
awesome.
like that. But, you know, like some of the other pies we have, you know, we have the Bunker Creek, which is named after the famous mountain bike trail in Bryan Head, Bunker Creek. Yeah. And if you want to do the dark hollow, all you do is take the Bunker Creek and just give it red sauce instead of white sauce.
So what's on the Bunker Creek?
Oh, that'd be salami, bacon, capicola, mushrooms, onions, Parmesan cheese, Alfredo sauce.
I'm getting hungry right now. Is it lunchtime?
Delicious.
It is. Yeah, it's almost lunchtime. Well, what's capicola?
That's
Forgive my ignorance.
Spiced ham. Yeah, totally.
Spiced ham.
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. So here's a random question. that I've never been able to answer working in restaurants. What's the difference between Canadian bacon and ham? Or is that just a fancy name?
Well, it's just a fancy name.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I wouldn't put it on a pizza at all, except that it is your number 2 selling pizza.
Yeah, the Hawaiian.
Oh yeah, totally pineapple and Canadian bacon.
That's actually my favorite pizza.
Yeah,
it's got the meat, but it's kind of light and good. But there's definitely camps on both sides of the aisle of hating pineapple on pizza. Or loving it, right? There's not much. Well, there's a couple people that are in between. But.
It don't belong on pizzas unless you own the pizzeria and need to make money.
That's right. So you're in the camp of no pineapple on pizza, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't order it.
Yeah. That's very good to know.
But I'm in the business of making money, so
yeah, that's true. You got to know your customer base.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that would be weird to not have one that has pineapple on it. But I swear I had like a Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, it's called Maui Wowie.
Yeah.
So that's Canadian bacon, pineapple, cilantro, and jalapeno.
Yeah, I was going to say it had jalapenos on it.
We put the Wowie in Maui.
I wonder if Maui knows about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Wowie in Maui. I'm going to have to remember that.
Totally.
Is that one of those behind the scenes creations that came on the menu?
That's on our menu. Yeah, totally.
Or I mean, did it start behind the scenes? And
okay, so one day we were trying to increase our menu, and we just came up with a whole bunch of different pies, and we looked at them all, and then they were all on the table, and a couple of employees that we had, and Melissa and I, we all sat there and we all figured out how to name them, and we said this. And that's how it started. Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's good. Now you mentioned you had pastas and sandwiches. I don't think I knew that.
Tortellinis, ravioli, spaghetti. Then we have a meatball sandwich, a sausage sandwich, a Chicago dog, a chicken parm, a barbecue chicken sandwich.
Yeah, man. Totally. We really can't do podcasts like this on lunchtime.
Classic Italian sandwich, the Pizanos sub.
Classic Italian sandwich.
All the cold cuts, lettuce, vegetables, dressing.
So where did you? Before the show, you had talked about the name. Tell me, where did you get the name and what it means?
So Paisanos, we all know it from the movies. They say it in slang. It means friend. Capiche? You always say it like that. Paisano. You see it in The Godfather. You see it in all those movies. Goodfellas. The correct spelling is Paesaon or SNO. Paisano.
Oh, okay.
But we spelled it like a pizza. Paisano.
Yeah.
And it means villager. So, village pizza, village barbershop,
Nice.
Village farmer. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you have such knowledge of Italian ways?
My last name. Come on now.
No, just using. You were telling me the proper way to say in Italian.
So
what's the Italian?
Cocchia. In Italian, it's Cocchia.
Cocchia.
Because then in Italy, they pronounce it k, not ch.
Oh,
and in Italian, it's Cocchia. America is Cocchia, but it's pronounced Cocchia.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. So CC is pronounced ch in Italian, and CH is pronounced k in Italian.
Interesting.
Yes. And I never realized it until in 2015, we went to Italy, my wife and I, and we got off the plane and showed up at the Hertz rental car dealer, and the lady goes, Mr. Cocchia.
Oh,
and
really?
I looked around for my dad because my dad told me my whole life that's how you pronounce your name. And I never heard it until then.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. When did you go to Italy?
About 2015.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
I've always wanted to go there. I wanted to I like running and trail running, and I've just wanted to go run the mountains. In Italy.
I want to ski the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. 70% of the Alps are in Italy.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not Switzerland or Germany or Austria.
I actually think when I was looking at like a travel, like when we were looking to maybe go to Italy for traveling, I think a lot of the running trails are on some of those ski trails. And everything.
Totally. Especially in the summertime.
Yeah. So what did you do? I'm totally digressing here.
We flew into Rome. We went in October, so it was in between seasons, best time to go.
Yeah.
Went to Rome, went to Florenza, went to Vescati, where the aqueducts start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we stayed outside of Rome, so we were able to take the train in Rome. But our favorite was Florenza. I could spend there my whole time there. That's where Galileo and and the Duomo and Michelangelo's paintings and everything of his is in that area.
Did you feel connected with your Italian heritage?
Yeah, especially when you, when you show up, they, in Italy, they'll take advantage of you if you don't speak their language.
Oh, gotcha.
Got it. If you try to speak their language, they will try to assist you.
Yeah.
But, was sitting there. We were in a leather store, and we bought belts and wallets and stuff, and we put it all on the table, and the lady was counting, and she looked up at me, and I said, cinco, which means 5.
Yeah.
She goes, Italiano? And I go, si. She put it all back and started counting again. She was going to rip me off. And then when I went to go pay with my card, it said Cocchia on it. She goes, oh, Italiano. And I go, si. She took it all back and recharged me again. She was going to rip me off again.
That is interesting.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's kind of like the markups that theme parks do, right? Yeah. Bottle of water.
And the only reason why I knew how to say cinco is because in the scene in The Godfather where they're counting money back, he goes cincos, seis. And that's the only way I knew it.
Thank you, Godfather.
Yeah,
Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Well, maybe let's circle back a little bit. Thanks for that was great.
Let's talk about pizza. How do we know what pizza really is?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
I don't.
Pizza's not invented in Italy.
Yeah, people always say that,
it's invented in New York.
Really? By Italians? Is that
yes,
why it's got that Italian tie?
Frank Sinatra, born and raised in Hoboken, New Jersey. There's a place, the original pizzeria in the United States is Grimaldi's. It's right on the other side of the Brooklyn Bridge when you leave Manhattan to go to Brooklyn. That was his favorite pizza place. That place was invented in 1888, I think. And what it was all the dock workers, everybody that worked on the docks, they'd get off work and they were hungry. Well, this guy started making pizza as a snack to eat on their way home. Oh, really? And that's how it started. And then as it got famous here and you'd go back to Italy, it was different in Italy. It's called a Napoli style pizza, which is, a small personal pizza. And that's how they started. But there's nothing on it that we see on our pizza. There's very little cheese, if any. There's hard boiled eggs. There's green olives. There's all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't normally see on a pizza and very little sauce. Yeah. And the difference between New York and Italy is very different. And of course, the difference between Chicago and New York is very different. And the difference between California and Chicago and New York is all very different,
That's funny. What's interesting when you talked about in Italy, they have you said hard-boiled egg on the pizza.
Yeah, they slice it and put it on there.
Yeah. So my buddy lived in Italy, I don't know where, for a few years. And we were getting together just as friends, and he made a lasagna, and he put all kinds of crazy stuff, and he's like, "This is how the Italians do it." I'm like, "Hard-boiled egg." It was good though. It's probably one of the best lasagnas I've ever had.
Europeans do things a little bit different.
Yeah, that's funny. So pizza started in New York. Was it people with Italian heritage then? And that's how it carried over?
Grimaldi wasn't Italian. He's an old baker, and that's how they started it. They're just bakers.
That's hilarious.
Place still exists in Brooklyn, right when you go over the bridge. They still have the same original oven that they built in 1888.
Is it what do they call it?
It's a brick
oven. Yeah, thank you.
Coal brick oven. They use coal to cook it. Instead of natural gas like we do.
Interesting. Well, now I'm going to have to put that on my
When
checklist.
I first came to Bryan Head, there was no natural gas in Bryan Head.
Really?
Yeah. When I first came to Bryan Head, there was one stoplight in Cedar City, and it was Burger Alley and Main Street right there. That was the only stoplight there.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you opened your shop or when you opened the pizzeria, did you have gas there?
Yeah, it already switched over. They switched over to get natural gas in 99 and 2000 in Bryan Head.
Okay.
I tell you. Whole summer of going up the canyon.
All of a sudden I had this picture of you when you said you didn't have gas of starting a brick oven by
they had propane. They had propane in the building, so that's how they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's hooked up natural gas and everything. Yes. Oh, that's funny. So.
At our cabin in Bryan Head, we had a 500-gallon propane tank too. Yeah. Now we're on natural gas. So,
oh, really? Yeah. A place where I lived before, we were on the mountain and We have one of those giant propane
I wouldn't want to be
tanks.
paying propane right now. It's $3 something a gallon.
Yeah, it's expensive.
$2,500 to fill it up.
I know, one of those big tanks. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, tell me. Let's just dive into why making pizza. Like
that was
of all things, why pizza?
We just had our daughter. We knew we had to get out of the ski industry, and we wanted to keep skiing. And this place came available, and that's how it all started, by blindly like Kramer.
Yeah. So why keep doing it? I mean,
because you get a passion of it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. My dad told me the secret to a successful business a long time ago was the drive of the owner. An unsuccessful business doesn't have a drive of the owner. And I kept going and just made it work, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's what keeps a roof over your head.
Yeah, it's true. Well, yeah, one of my favorite things making pizza in college and high school is actually the classic. I don't know if you guys toss your dough. Do you toss it?
Oh, yeah, we're hand tossed.
Yeah.
It's a lost art.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I loved it. It was entertaining. Sometimes my boss would get mad at me if I dropped one because I would do stuff like, try to do stuff behind your back, between the legs, like, hey, look what I can do.
We have a couple of those guys. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, my kids, when we make pizza at home, I will hand toss it. And my kids are always just like, how do you do that? But how we learned, I don't know if this is how you teach your staff, but we would just grab kind of a damp hand towel and practice.
You could do that. Yeah. Totally. They make show
towel.
doughs now, plastic stuff, rubbery stuff that you can practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called show dough.
Well, part of the art of it though is learning when you do the edge at first and not letting it get too thin in the middle or too wonky, on one side.
Some people are
hand rolling.
They believe in the hand rolling.
Yeah.
And we did that the first 2 winters.
Oh, really?
And then brought it up and spun it. But we had a machine that we didn't even know existed that was in the back of the restaurant. It's a dough rolling machine.
Oh, really?
And we looked at it one day, sent it to get fixed, got fixed, and we're like, what have we been doing? What have we been doing the last 2 years? And, it cuts your time down by 6 minutes by doing it that way, And, some people are adamant about a hand roller. Some people do the rolling machine we do. It's all the same. And what it looks like when it comes out of the oven is all I care about.
Right. What it tastes like going in your mouth and down the belly.
The machine will evenly spread everything and make it real easy for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I got this picture of like when you go to Cafe Rio and they have the little presser with their dough for their tortillas. It's
not a presser. It's a machine that has 2 heavy steel rollers in it that are like rolling pins.
Oh, really?
And you just put it in one way, it comes out, and you put it in another way, and it comes out. It's perfectly ready to go for you to start spinning it.
So how do you prep? Because the dough you've got to prep. Like, I mean, some of the places I've worked, like I worked nothing but restaurants in college and high school, and anyways, like. There was a lot of some people would come in at like 3 a.m. and start prepping stuff. I don't know how you guys.
We don't come in at 3, okay, so you came in on President's Day weekend. We all showed up at 10. Guy comes in and he probably makes 500 dough balls that day.
Really?
Yeah, totally. And everybody else is hand cutting vegetables, grating cheese. We grate our cheese.
Really?
It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, to buy
buy it in bulk.
Blocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, we make our rolls. We used to make cinnamon rolls. We used to make coffee cake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's too time consuming. And if you don't sell it every day.
Yeah, then it goes to waste. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite things, though, was when, and I swear we never did it on purpose, but when we'd mess up an order.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, throw it in the oven. And
that happens. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah.
The way that my heart has always been food. You would think I would be, either my teeth would be rotted out or I'd be a little more heavy set, but I eat like a horse and stuff, but I run a lot. So maybe that contributes to it.
It does, because I eat like a horse in the restaurant, and I walk 10 miles in that restaurant every day. Yeah.
So, You're on your feet, moving around. So, you do have some like cool, like the decor in there, some like cool posters and different things like that. I'm trying think there was a couple
Okay, so
of
one
them.
one side is all national parks.
Yeah.
And the other side is all sports memorabilia.
Yeah, some of the
I did grow
sports
up in
memorabilia.
California, so I am fond of the Dodgers. I am fond of the Lakers, and I am fond of the Bruins. So we have all that, and I have I have a Don Drysdale poster up in there that's actually signed by Don Drysdale.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, guy that pitched with Sandy Koufax at the same time.
Huh.
So someone gave it to me. It's a close friend, and I thanked her for it. And I asked her, "Are you sure you want to give it to me?
Yeah.
Because
That is cool.
you can pay for your mortgage with this one."
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you need to hunt down a Stone Temple Pilots autograph poster and throw it up too.
Yeah, totally. Huh?
Yeah, I've got. We're gonna talk about heyday. You gotta throw
totally.
some of that up in there. What kind of? I can't even think.
I was skiing 150 days a year back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not that much anymore.
Yeah. Are you still getting out like most weeks?
If I can get 25 days in a year, totally I'd be happy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something else I was going to ask you too on the shop. You talked about like there's been ups and downs of like circumstantial things like COVID and stuff like that. What about just like ups and downs? Aside from those outside forces, ups and downs of just being a small business owner.
You mean like equipment going down all the time?
Talk to me about some of that.
Totally. Well, when we first opened up, equipment was made a lot better 22 years ago. Now, we bought equipment in 2019 and, equipment, that's the down part of it. Equipment goes down all the time. Yeah. And,
it costs more now too.
Yeah, it does cost more to fix it too.
Oh yeah.
And, but we were fortunate enough to purchase equipment that's made in the United States. So we were able to get it replaced within a day when it does. But I mean, here it is, let's say 2018, we bought them and we put 2 compressors in them now, because they just, ups and downs of manufacturing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, flour gets all over everything. So flour is the demon inside the restaurant.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Well, one restaurant that I worked at, we used flour, and another one we used. You use flour too to make the dough, but like we would use cornstarch.
Cornmeal or cornstarch?
Oh, I'm sorry, cornmeal. Yeah.
Little ball bearing stuff.
Yeah, basically when we were hand tossing it. Yeah, cornmeal. Thank you. Preventing me from sounding like an idiot. Foggy memory.
Well, use the cornmeal to give flavor, and it acts as ball bearings to slide off the peel. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really what gives it the flavor is the cornmeal.
Is that what you guys used to?
That, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I just remember my clothes would just be caked in it all the time.
How about your shoes?
Oh yeah, the shoes for sure. They were goners. It reminded me almost like of a guy that owns a lawn mowing business and their shoes are just green. Right? But yeah, exactly. But yeah, it would just be kind of caked in that stuff, and you just have to spray it off or wash it off or whatever. But I'm trying to think where to go with this. I'm thinking from like the tourist perspective or a customer perspective. Like what's the thing that you love about working with just new people all the time? Or maybe you have your cult following as well.
Okay. So when we first opened up the restaurant, we knew all the homeowners up in Bryan Head. They'd come a lot, it's before Airbnb, it's before vacation by owner. Mm-hmm. So we knew all the homeowners. And build big relationships with them, friends, stuff like that. Made some friends out of it. Well, since the pandemic, there's no homeowners up there anymore. Yeah. We don't see the normal crowd anymore.
It's more the Airbnb style or what?
Yeah, and it's just more 1 or 2 time visits. It's not and the homeowners you rarely see at all anymore. So the demographics and the quality of the guests have changed.
Yeah.
Over the last 22 years.
Interesting.
Yes.
Of the international market, where do you?
It's probably 20% now.
Oh, really?
Where before it wasn't even 0.5%.
Really?
Yeah, totally. But that's over 22 years.
Jump.
So it's like less than 1% a year increase. Think about it that way.
So
over 22 years.
Of the international market, like which countries do you see
Mexico.
the most? Really?
Yep.
I wasn't expecting that. I was thinking
Mexico.
something
100%.
Europe or something.
And we're talking Mexico City.
Really?
So that upper tier of guests.
Really? Do they just fly into Vegas and drive up? Or?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah, totally.
I mean,
big families too. Big
really?
families. Yeah, totally.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess some of those families, I mean, you can fly in to Cedar City if you get the right flight and the right connection and stuff with the Delta SkyWest. But
fly to Salt Lake from Mexico City.
Yeah.
And then take the commuter down from Salt Lake to Cedar.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, totally.
Do most of them come, you think, fly in
I'm
Salt Lake?
I'm not sure. That's how I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
I would assume they go to Vegas, like you say.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. A lot of them come in. So when somebody comes in and they're skiing, or if it's the summer, like outside of skiing, what do you get a lot of people asking, well, what should I do? Where should I go?
Summertime or wintertime?
Let's start with summertime.
Summertime, yeah, they're there for the national parks.
Yeah.
And Brian Head's unique that sits in the center of them all,
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, they can go in and out and back in a day,
Are there things you typically recommend to people if they're...
Well, we tell them about all the national parks, but we do, we try not to tell them about off the beaten path stuff,
Keep that secret safe with the locals,
totally,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But, they come in big groups too. They're getting bussed all over.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And, if they're going to Zion or Bryce, they're, major busing companies, major tourist companies.
Gotcha.
So,
well, kind of. So you're Pizanos is kind of.
Go ahead. Everybody asks me about fishing, and I don't tell them anything. Oh. Yeah, totally.
Are you a big fisherman?
Well, yeah, and I don't want the holes to dry up.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I think maybe I've mentioned this in one of the previous podcasts too. I have an uncle that would, not from around, northern Utah, anywhere he went fishing, he kept a spreadsheet and would put the GPS coordinates where he caught that fish, what size it was, what type of fish it was. Yeah. And if he took you to one of his spots, you were in big trouble if you ever took anyone else to one of his spots. So
you don't want your hole drying up, and everybody asks. And it's like, oh, we don't have no fish in here.
Yeah.
Go to Escalante.
The truth is, if you don't want tourists fishing in the right spots, you should just take me. I've been fishing my whole life. I am a cursed fisherman. Like I would go with people and like my uncle would be like, oh, we always catch fish. We always catch dozens of fish here, yada, yada, catch and release and going. And every time it's always the same story. It's, well, we usually catch a lot here today, but not today. I'm like, it's me. I'm cursed. I'm a cursed fisher. Bad luck, huh? I'm the bad luck. Although I took a couple of my brother-in-laws fishing one time. We're out on kayaks and I can't remember if my pole was broke or I couldn't find it or something. And one of them had one of their kids, this like kiddie fishing poles. So they gave me that. And I was the only, for a while while we were out fishing, I was the only one that caught anything. And by the end, I caught the biggest fish on this kiddie pole.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm like, maybe the curse is broken. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about how many more people are visiting Iron County. You could show up at a specific time in May in Penguich Lake, and it looks like Walt Disney with everybody shoulder to shoulder there fishing, So as long as they stay there, we're cool,
A lot of people go over to Navajo.
Yeah, Navajo's been getting more pressure.
Yeah, camping out over there as well. But what's great, too, around Cedar and Brian Head and Iron County, I should really just say generically, is you talked about like how Brian Head is kind of the center of all these national parks, right? But we also have like amazing, like we've got the Shakespeare Festival going on here. And so there's so many cool things that you can do in addition that kind of complements the outdoors. When you've had a long day hiking or skiing or whatever it is that you're outdoor doing, you can go hit up a show at Shakespeare. And
we've always tried to get them to Brian Head. They would never do one.
Shakespeare to go do like an outdoor.
Even when we had a Chamber of Commerce, when Maria was involved, they tried to get one up there, in the summertime, just on like Saturdays and Sundays. But they just keep it down here.
Yeah, maybe we can harass them and say, hey, maybe we do one up. I don't know. You're like, I've been trying 22 years, buddy.
Yeah, totally. No, that's funny. Yeah, totally. What's big in Brian Head is the mountain biking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, totally. That's what we want is the mountain biking.
That's what I'm looking forward to this summer is the mountain biking
and
side.
The current ownership, they're big into mountain biking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, totally. They have a resort, I think it's in Texas, called Spider Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Where it's just for mountain biking.
Oh, yeah, I have heard of that. Yeah.
Totally.
So one of the reasons why, I kept meaning to buy a season pass this year, and I just kept forgetting to do it. And then by that time the price has gone up. I'm like, well, we'll see how it goes. But one of the main reasons why I wanted a season pass too was because of the mountain biking. Totally. I've always joked like, I only go up so I can go down. Yeah. So if I can take a lift up to go down mountain biking.
You can access a lot from that lift. You can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the trails that you go on just skiing. I mean, at Brian Head, there's like parts between the trees that you can just like, it feels like you're on a bobsled course.
Oh yeah.
Between
totally.
some of those trees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's an awesome feeling just going through all that, but.
Brian Head's one of the unique areas that actually does shuttle service, which if any others do, I don't know of any others, but Brian Head's one of the few towns and resorts that do shuttle service for out and back trails, which is really good.
Really? I don't think I knew that.
Oh yeah, totally. George's does it. And then the town does it too. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, you can do one way where they drop you off at the peak and then they pick you up at the end, or you can take the lift up right around the peak and go the way you want to go and just do a pickup. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Tell me, I don't think I asked this. I was thinking about asking this earlier, but what is the the elevation for the peak there?
Okay, peak's 11,306. At the top where the lookout that's going to be replaced this summer, supposedly.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's been up there for a long time, and it got taken down in one of the storms in 2023.
Oh, really? Okay.
And what's odd about it is it was original, probably over 100 years old, and everybody's initials are up on there, including mine and Melissa's, and now they're gone.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
So the 11,306 with that lookout peak, they're going to get going, and they're probably going to improve it a little bit more. And the top of the ski lift is just at 11,000. And parking lot's 90.
Yeah, I was going to ask the base.
Parking lot's 98. You know, we're right at like 1,200 vertical feet.
Aren't we? Isn't the base of Brian Head like the highest base in
highest parking lot in Utah?
In Utah, yeah.
It's not the highest ski resort in the nation.
Right.
Ski Cooper is outside of Leadville in Colorado.
Okay, gotcha.
They're at almost 12.
Right. I just had remembered something about like the base of like the skis are the lifts are the highest.
Yeah, most resorts end where we start.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's
Park City. Alta, Snowbird, they all end right where we start.
Yeah.
Totally.
And like you said, the views out there.
Yeah, totally.
It's amazing. Well, I guess to kind of wrap things up, tell us online, or when people come to visit, like what do you want to tell people? How do they find you, whether it's online or in person?
We have our website, Pizanos Pizzeria @gmail.com. We're in the mall located next to Brian Head Sports and the Giant Step Ski Lodge in Brian Head, Utah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a cool little, isn't there like a little pond or something with a cool little walking trail?
Pond, yeah, that's down by the Giant Steps condominiums and by the bridge and by George's ski shop.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. That's brought a lot of people in too.
Yeah, and there's a cool it's like a bear statue or something.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that yet because I don't get over there much, but I do know about it. Yes. Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. The bear, they put the town's put a lot of money into that park, into that pond, and they're getting every penny they put into it out of it.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. And you're kind of seeing that as a business too, as well.
Yes, totally.
Oh, that's awesome.
Keeps people, that's the one thing about Brian Head. All right, now we ski. Now what do we do? It was never set up to be a Yahoo ski resort or Yahoo mountain biking resort. It's a family-friendly area, and that was always their motto, friendly by nature.
Yeah.
Family by choice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
One thing I'm going to kind of actually wrap up with too is we were talking about the types of pizzas earlier, and, obviously Hawaiian pizza is a favorite. Yeah. What is like the Pizzano like most requested pizza of the specialties and things?
It's going to be the Papa Tony.
The Papa Tony?
It's the combo.
Describe the Papa Tony.
I set it up to where it would be. So it's the combo. Everybody wants a combo. It's pepperoni sausage, onions, black olives, and bell peppers.
Oh, kind of
That's
a classic.
the combo. Yeah, totally. And Melissa, I wanted her to put a Mama Melissa. She goes, I don't want my name on the menu.
Maybe go Mama M or something. Yeah.
So yeah, I set that up to where that would be my name. And really it came from Papa John's, remember when Papa John's was saying he had his name on everything. I said, well, why can't my name be on a pizza, Better ingredients. We all use the same ingredients,
There you go. Well, it sounds like yours are probably more fresh too. You're grating your own cheese and doing all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
awesome. Well, cool. Well, if those who are listening are visiting Brian Head, stop at Pizanos. Say hi to Tony. He's right there helping people clean up their spills from trying to get soda
totally.
and stuff.
Got a big beer list and a big wine list too.
Okay, awesome. Well, anything else you want to, I guess?
No, I just thank you for having me. I've never been on a podcast before.
Well, I'm so glad to have you. It's so fun to chat. And next time I'm up, I'll have to, maybe one of these times I'll have to have you show me some of your favorite ski.
All right,
we'll go hit up the slopes
there
together and just show me some of your favorite things since you've been there so long. So, cool.
There's been a lot of people there longer than me, but it seems like we're about to go through a generational change in Brian Head too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like all the people that have been there as long or longer than me are about to fade out, and now the new generation is coming in. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, new day for Brian Head and a bright future. It's been growing quite a bit.
Yes.
So, well, Tony, thank you so much for being on the show. Glad to have you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.